They have a gravity about them, a quietness that feels heavier than silence. It's the look of someone whose world has quietly collapsed, not with a crash, but with a slow, internal settling. You see it in their stillness. They aren't just resting, they are containing something. A weight their very structure wasn't designed to support. If you've ever met that moment just once, you know it doesn't shatter, it just descends. A soft, internal yielding. And the people who understand this, who've lived through that kind of descent, carry a psychology that marks them. Often, you don't even know you've become one of them until someone asks, "How are you so composed?" They see calm. You feel the distance. A profound stillness that arrives when your emotional world has been stretched so thin, so many times, that its texture changes. It isn't peace. It's a form of emotional insulation. What others call resilience in them feels less like a choice and more like the only available path forward. A survival reflex, honed in necessity. This forges a particular presence, a depth in their gaze, a patient, listening quality, an answer that comes only after a thoughtful pause. They learn to fold their storms into manageable shapes, tucking them away so they can keep moving. On the outside, they often appear wise, grounded, mature, beyond their years. But what if this maturity wasn't cultivated? What if it was compelled, extracted, not earned? Forced into being because life refused to offer a gentler version of events. When the emotional load exceeds a mind's capacity, something rewires. Psychologists point to adaptation, a nervous system reorganizing under relentless pressure. It adapts through hyper-awareness, through bracing for impact, even on calm days. If you constantly scan rooms, anticipate problems, or overthink conversations, it's not a flaw. It's your mind's learned response. Uncertainty was once a threat, so now it must be mapped. These individuals operate with an invisible curriculum. They can read a room's temperature from a single sigh. They navigate conflict like it's terrain dotted with silent alarms. They become experts at calming others while their own heart trembles. They perfect the art of making themselves unobtrusive when attention feels dangerous. These aren't personality quirks. They are survival scripts, etched deep into the nervous system. This is often forged early. Research shows prolonged stress recalibrates the brain. It becomes a finely tuned threat detector, sensitive to patterns and shifts others miss. It's not just intuition. It's pattern recognition born from stark necessity. There's a profound tenderness in these people, too. A gentleness that comes not from an easy life, but from a hard one. An empathy earned through direct experience. This creates a poignant contrast. They become the natural comforters, the listeners, the ones who hold space so effortlessly that no one stops to ask who held space for them. You learn to give warmth because you remember the cold. But beneath that empathy lies a quiet exhaustion. Not the kind sleep fixes, but the kind that settles in the bones. The exhaustion of someone who has been their own anchor for too long. They become capable of carrying everyone's burdens except their own. They offer clarity but live inside a tangle of internal questions. This isn't about mistrust. It's about a nervous system that learned early. Relying on others was synonymous with unpredictability. And unpredictability felt like the prelude to collapse. Their independence isn't pride, it's a shield, a necessary fortress. So the world sees composure. The inner world knows a quiet, chronic overwhelm. This duality defines them. They are both open and guarded, caring yet detached, hopeful yet instinctively cautious. They don't fear vulnerability itself. They've learned that vulnerability often came with a hidden cost. Disappointment, misunderstanding, emotional debt, so they reveal themselves in layers, carefully, not to manipulate, but to preserve. Here is the crucial truth, often left unspoken. Nothing about this psychology is broken. Their reactions are logical, their caution is rational, their depth is earned. Adaptation is not a failure. It is the mind's intelligent, creative response to its environment. There is a unique beauty in this weathered perspective. They are the ones who love with a quiet, deep intensity. They notice the small kindnesses, the fleeting moments of peace, because they intimately know their opposites. They value raw sincerity, having seen the exhaustion of pretense, and they continue. Even when everything feels heavy, they continue. Not because they are unbreakable, but because they have already been reshaped and found a way to stand. Wisdom is often the scar tissue of survived storms. This creates a relationship with reality that is both deeply felt and strategically detached, a survival mechanism to balance feeling everything with the need to function. You might hesitate before happiness, question comfort, and instinctively brace even when the ground is solid. Your nervous system remembers old patterns. In relationships, this depth can be complicated. You care with an intensity that frightens you. You may imagine endings prematurely, apologize too quickly, and silence your own needs to avoid being a burden. When someone finally asks what you need, you might draw a blank. Your own care was never the priority. And if a small thing triggers a strong reaction, it's rarely about the present moment. It's the echo of 100 past moments where you felt unsafe or unseen. Your body reacts to the old pattern, not the new circumstance. Yet, instead of explaining, you often stay quiet, preferring harmony over the risk of being labeled too much. The irony is profound. These same people often become the emotional pillars for others. Friends bring them their rawest fears, and they hold them with a compassionate understanding that feels rare. Their emotional literacy forced upon them becomes a gift. They can sense the unspoken, see through masks, and detect the true meaning behind a curt "I'm fine." This is both a gift and a weight. They absorb atmospheres, feel responsible for moods they didn't create, and can become healers by accident. And unacknowledged healers grow weary. This exhaustion doesn't announce itself with drama. It whispers through gradual withdrawal, shorter replies, softer laughter, a quiet fading from view. Yet within them resides a formidable, quiet strength. It's the strength of endurance, of showing up again, of choosing to trust or love once more, even when every instinct warns against it. They've weathered too many internal winters to fear a chill. This resilience isn't loud or heroic. It's the ordinary, profound courage to continue. They don't just experience pain, they metabolize it into insight. They search for meaning in the chaos, lessons in the loss. This breeds a powerful, empathetic worldview. They understand human complexity, that hurt people, that healing isn't linear. They carry an invisible grief, too not for a person, but for the selves they lost along the way. The carefree version, the one who trusted without a second thought. This grief makes them introspective. It makes a safe moment, a genuine connection, feel sacred. And slowly, they learn to rebuild, to set boundaries, to differentiate between instinct and trauma, to choose openness, not recklessly, but with conscious courage. If you see yourself in this, it's time for a liberating realization. You are not damaged, you are adaptive. Your mind is not a battlefield, it's a testament to survival, to depth, to an emotional complexity that a simpler life could never have forged. You have the potential to become a lighthouse for others, Not because you've never known darkness, but precisely because you have. You didn't just go through too much, you grew through it. And that growth is now your quiet, undeniable power. And if this resonated with you, please help Winds of Thought reach others who need to hear it. A like on this video makes a real difference.